Okay, I think we'll get started now. So welcome everybody to our event. Thank you for making the time to join us today on Zoom. So today we're gonna speak to you a little bit more about what two of our divisions do. So we're gonna speak about outreach and careers. If you attended our event yesterday, then you'll already have a preliminary idea, but the point of today is just to give you a little bit more detail of the flagship events of each division and how you can get involved. So without further ado, yes, I'll pass it on to Julia, our careers director.
Hi guys, so we're gonna just go through a quick presentation about like the careers division in UNSOC and what we do and how you can apply to be a careers officer if you'd like. So, oopsies. Yep. Caroline?
Hello everyone, I'm also a careers director, so Julia and I lead the division together, and we should, like she said, discuss a bit with what our division does and how, if you're interested. So, what do we do? The main purpose of our subdivision is for you to get an insight into the different career paths that are open for you as someone who's interested in the UN and related fields. So more concretely, that is teaching you different transferable skills through workshops or mentorship schemes, presenting you with possible job opportunities, helping you expand your networks, giving you insight into the different career paths, whether it is in civil service, think tanks, the UN specifically, NGOs, other IGOs, and so on. So that is a sort of general overview with what we do. More specifically though, here are some of the events that we have planned. So we have the Backlinks panel, which is on Friday, so you should sign up for that. Julia will tell you more about what this is later, but this is one of our most high-profile events that we run each year. So it is really sort of one of our flagship events of our division, and we've been working very hard on it. So please do come. Beyond the Backlinks panel, which is very sort of UN career focused, we also have a UN internship panel. So that is more that is where we invite people who have really sort of worked in the UN more sort of as entry-level jobs about their experience interning at the UN, giving you also some concrete ideas of how to stand out, how to apply, and so on. We're also working with we've also have some workshops planned where it gives you more concrete information on CV guidance, cover letters, and so on. Then there's, of course, careers related to the UN, which are also very interesting. So, for example, NGOs and IGOs. So we're organizing one related on human rights. So focus on careers in NGOs and IGOs, which specialize in human rights, which is planned for November time. So keep your eyes open for that. Then we will also organize some career panels, which are focused on careers in think tanks and NGOs and foreign service. So here we will invite sort of professionals in these fields to come and talk to you and answer your questions, sort of like in the format that you see on the picture here. So any sort of career-related, give you any career-related insight into their profession. And then lastly, we have also our mentorship scheme. So this is, again, one of our flagship initiatives. This is where we pair you with a small group of other LSE students with a professional working in your field of interest that you would like to pursue. So this will come in early Lent term. We'll open this up for you, so make sure to keep your eyes open for that as well. And that is one of our main opportunities for you to get sort of really insight into different career, sort of your career of interest from a professional working in it. So we, of course, beyond the list that is here, also have a lot of event ideas and would like your input. So the way for that is by joining us as a career officer, which my lovely Julia will go into now.
Wait, but first,
sorry.
Fernando's going to talk about a partner organization of UNSOC this year, which is OpenIGO.
Yeah, so as Caroline was mentioning, one of the flagship initiatives of the Careers Division is UN internship focused events. So this year we're changing it up a little bit. So instead of having a traditional speaker panel with former interns from the UN, this year we're going to do a UN internship workshop, and we're organizing that alongside our partner OpenIGO. So if you haven't heard of them, they're an international careers development network that offers resources and consultancy and advice on how to apply for a careers in international organizations, but more specifically for the United Nations. So they have things like mock interviews, coaching sessions, ebooks, written examination packages. So it's a really great source for you to get more guidance on how to be a successful applicant, or either for a career, so entry-level job, or as an intern. So as part of the partnership, if you buy your membership, you'll get access to a 15% discount that UNSOC has on their products, and that includes ebooks, mock interviews, and written examination packages. So it definitely is worth getting your membership if you want a discount. But on top of the discount and on top of the event that we are organizing with them, part of the partnership also includes writing articles for their online magazine. So if you're somebody who's passionate about international development, about things like the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, if perhaps you're a master's student who already has experience with applying for an internship or interning for the UN, then writing for their online magazine is definitely a great opportunity for you. So we'll be releasing more details about that in the coming days, but overall, it's a very exciting opportunity. They have never done a partnership of this nature with any society of any university. So it definitely is a very exciting opportunity. But yeah, so keep your eyes open for the UN internship workshop. That's set to happen towards the end of October, if not beginning of November.
Thank you, Fernanda. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about being a careers officer, like sort of what careers officers do, and then like how to apply, who can apply, that kind of stuff. So a careers officer, we get about 5 to 6 of them for our team, and they'd work with me and Caroline to basically just put on career-related events for the UNSOC throughout the year. And so most of what it consists of is sort of like writing emails, contacting people, coming up with event ideas, and then just sort of seeing it happen. So that's like honestly what I found really cool about being a careers officer last year. And so it's also like learning a lot of bureaucratic stuff, like dealing with like the SU, dealing with sort of like inviting people in, all the logistics that come, well, maybe not this year with room bookings, but I guess with like Zoom conferences and things like that. And so it really is a good way to learn like those kinds of transferable skills like communication, marketing, planning, and just learning how to put on events. So careers officers, like the role of careers officer is open to anyone, any UNSOC member, so open to postgraduates and to undergraduate students as well. And we're really just looking for people who have sort of like ideas of what they want in an event from UNSOC, their own passions, their own like sort of creative like outlets to whatever sort of careers related events that they would like. And people who have sort of like the drive and the organizational skill to try and like make that happen in a reality. And so the application is already open. I believe it closes on the 6th of October, and the link is on our Facebook page if you guys are interested. I really do recommend joining. Like Caroline and I were both, and Fernanda actually, were all careers officers last year, and it was genuinely like a lot of fun. It's also a really good way to sort of like be part of the UNSOC like sort of family, I think, because personally I didn't do MUN, and so that was sort of like the way that I met everyone, was doing like careers officer. And I think the best part is just that like it's not just about putting on sort of flagship events, the events we do every year, but really just events that you personally would really like to see happen. Like I'm specifically quite interested in sort of NGOs and things like that, and human rights. And so something I really like being able to do last year was got to organize an NGO panel. And that was really nice because it's not something that I see that much at LSE, and it was just an event that I personally really wanted to go to. So I was like, yes, I will just make one and then I can go to it. And so I think that there's really a lot of positives in being a careers officer. So I really recommend that everyone join. Okay, so next, after all that information, Caroline is going to lead us all in like a fun game so that you can all meet each other and can just sort of digest everything from this presentation. Game time.
Yes. So my internet is slightly slow. Now we will challenge you guys to organizing your own events. So you will come in the shoes of Julia and me, where we will split you into small groups in breakout rooms, and we will assign you a topic, which we will text you on the general chat. Then given that topic, you can decide on what format you would want this career event to be sort of, I guess, structured as, who you would invite, aim as high as possible, guys. And then you will, after that, come into the general room and then pitch your idea. So you can choose one of you guys as the pitcher of your event. And exactly, and just for a note, just pretend like this is in a non-COVID world that we all dream of. So this is dreaming of the most senior speakers and in a non-COVID world where there's no social distancing. So that is sort of this main outline. We'll break you into small groups now, and yeah, guys, get creative. Let me break you guys into breakout rooms. Fernanda, can you do that? I don't think I have the rights to.
Julia, you're the one that is able to do that because you're full host for this.
Crazy. Okay, well, I don't know how to do this. I'm gonna stop sharing. Sorry, please. One moment for technical difficulties.
You can also just make me host instead of co-host, and I can sort it out.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the meantime, while we're sorting this out, do you guys have any preliminary questions about careers or maybe about outreach or just in general LSE questions or anything of that sort?
Hi, so I have like a small question. So, you know, the first slide which you shown us for the like submitting articles to the UN, like that internship. So that's completely separate from the careers event. Like that'll have its own application procedure and everything.
Yeah, so for the writing application with OpenIGO, that's a separate application. So technically speaking, you can not be a careers officer, but be a writer for the online magazine.
Oh, okay.
So it's a different commitment altogether.
Oh.
So there's less commitment to the writing part as opposed to being a full-time officer, because for the writing articles, we only require you to submit one monthly article.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Ali, you have your hand up.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you
yes,
me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I was wondering where I can find the recordings of all these Zoom sessions.
Yeah, so I answered that in the chat, I believe. So there's a, oh wait, sorry, that was my bad. Let me just copy and paste the message again. But we have a YouTube channel where everything is gonna be uploaded, and we already have the first recording for yesterday's event. So yesterday was the kind of general information on the UN Society, but we also uploaded on Facebook. So whichever channel just works for you best. And yeah, so Josia has a question about how many career officer positions there are. So it's 4 to 5, and one of them is reserved for a postgraduate student. So if you're a postgraduate student that's really keen on careers, then definitely that's something you should apply for if it sparks your interest. Julia,
Do anything.
any success?
Okay. Yes. Okay. We're sorry. We'll go out into breakout rooms now, and then keep an eye out on the chat. And so we'll tell you what topic is assigned for each breakout room. Okay.
Okay, I think yes, people are joining. Great.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, your microphone's muted.
Oh,
Yes, there we go.
hello.
Oh, are you at LSE?
I am. I'm in NAB, I think. I think I will.
Don't worry. All of
I'm
us were confused with the code names.
I'm giving myself a tour. Am I allowed to speak in here?
Yeah. It's just
Oh, okay.
it's a very strange feeling. I completely understand. Like compared to last year, going into campus just feels so like empty and desolate.
Yeah, no, exactly. So I'm like, okay. But no, that's cool. Hi, I'm
Hello.
Treasure or ERA. Yeah.
Are you a master's student?
I am, yes. I think I was in one of the virtual fair sessions. I'm a part-time postgrad. So it's I'm keen to find out how many of me are here.
How many? Yeah.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So this year, so the SU on our page, we don't know exact numbers of how many postgrads, how many undergrads. All we see is like this graph compared, like undergraduates and postgraduates. But compared to last year, we have a really high engagement in postgrads. So
okay, that's a good
exciting.
sign.
Yes. So I think Julia's probably still working out the assignments, but I mean, in the meantime, do you guys have any particular questions or comments, things about LSE, UNSOC?
I mean, I take it the MUN's a bit more popular than Careers?
It depends. It depends on the people. That's the thing, because the three divisions do very different things, right? So the type of people you find in each are very different. But for our events, for Outreach, for Careers, there's still a lot of attendance and people coming in.
Yeah.
For MUN, we do get a lot of interest from first years, because in some high schools it's very popular to do MUN. We have had a couple of postgrads join us for conferences as well, so it's not like it's restricted to just one.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, if you get your membership, you can pick and choose what you want to attend. If you're only interested in MUN, then that's completely fine. Maybe you're interested in both Careers and Outreach, so you can do events for both. So up to you.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think I need to just get the membership now. I think I'm still on the mailing list, so I need to upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only £4. It's a great investment.
I know. Yeah, no, it's quite cool. I feel like I'm low-key hogging the sesh, so I'm more than happy to shut up for some minutes and let anyone else speak.
I'm also a postgrad student, a part-time postgrad. Yeah. So yeah.
How is it doing a like part-time postgrad? So is it that you're working on the side and doing your postgrad?
So I applied really late. I applied in like August because I was really unsure with like what I was going to do after graduating. So yeah, like part-time was the only option like left for me. But it's nice because I guess like I've already met so many people who are so stressed about the dissertations, but I don't start for like next year. So
yeah,
I know it is a benefit, so I don't need to do it now, which is yeah.
And what about you guys? So I take it, are you postgraduate or undergraduate?
I'm a first year undergrad.
Okay. And how about you guys?
We're postgraduates as well in human rights.
Oh, so you're the only undergraduate. I mean, I'm an undergrad as well, so you're not alone.
That's really cool. Are you part-time as well? Oh, okay.
Full-time.
Oh, okay.
What courses are you guys studying?
Which ones?
We both do human rights.
Okay, I do human rights and politics.
Oh, nice. I do law. I'm the outlier.
No.
Oh no, I'm definitely the outlier. I do maths and economics.
That's amazing.
Sorry to interrupt. So I'm just going around telling everyone their topic. So your topic is lunch with. So lunch with like anyone that you think would work in line with our UNSOC ideas. Okay. Good luck, guys. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay, so lunch with. So to give you an example, last year if you've signed up for the Dafungs panel, one of our speakers, Maggie, she came into LSE to sit down and speak with us for lunchtime. So we brought in like sandwiches and like soda and water and kind of just sat down and spoke to her about her career. She's done a bit of field work, I believe, in Sri Lanka. So it was really interesting to hear about her experiences there. So yeah, I mean, it could just be as high profile as you want. When I was in this same event last year as a fresher, I said we should organize a panel with the P5 of the Security Council and see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know, just brainstorm away.
I mean, we could have some kind of icebreaker. I don't know if that's a thing, but that could be like potentially, hypothetically, something we could do on that event. I don't know.
Yeah, so you would invite more than one speaker to lunch?
How long would it be?
Well, I mean, that's up to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so everything's up to you. Possibilities are endless.
Yeah. I'd say, well, lunch typically takes, I don't know, about an hour, no more than 2. I'd say between an hour and 2. I suppose lunch presupposes the fact that people already be in that giddy mood. No one's going to be too serious, but we can have some kind of icebreaker nonetheless, I think. Yeah. We could, I don't know, what do people think on how many speakers?
For me, I
don't know, maybe no more than, I don't know.
I think it would be a good way
to what exactly are we? What exactly are we doing?
So the idea, the idea is that imagine you're a careers officer, right? So you're working with Julia and with Caroline, and you're meant to organize an event, right? So at this point in time, you're kind of sitting down and thinking about what you want the event to look like, and the event should take the format of like lunch with a speaker, right? So the idea is that you would have, I don't know, something like 30 to 40 people from UNSOC, maybe less, and you're bringing in like sandwiches and appetizers, and you're inviting a speaker to speak about their career, to sit down and have lunch with you and have kind of an informal conversation about their career, how they got to the point where they were. Maybe you can ask them questions about their insights on, I don't know, is peacekeeping a good thing for the UN? Is it not? So things like that. But okay, so we, Sierra has said that we have like an hour or 2 to do the lunch. And now we need to think about which speaker we want to bring in, which is the interesting part. So you can go as high profile as you want, invite the president of a country. I don't know. Who are you interested in? Like, who are your role models, I guess?
I feel like a female speaker would be quite attractive. Maybe someone who's exhibited good leadership, particularly during this time. I don't know. I think Jacinda Ardern comes to mind, although she's far away.
But if it's on Zoom, maybe it's a lunch Zoom, or maybe UNSOC has a really great budget, so we can plug her in.
Yeah, no, exactly. And there's also the backdoor virtual way. We could always pop her a Zoom link, I think. But yeah, I think that would be nice. It'd be like meaningful, purposeful, like a COVID special kind of thing.
I think it would be really nice to have, like you said, Jacinda, but also like the young leaders. I don't know, like I don't know the name of people. I just know like the title. So I think his name is Justin from Canada. And then there's another one in, I think, Ukraine, who's very young. Like just to have like these young role models who, I don't know, might be more reflective of our generation.
I agree. I think
it'd be really interesting to have some. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I think it would be interesting to have someone like from the completely opposite stance as well. I think it would make it quite an interesting lunch. I don't want to say Trump because
you can have Melania,
but like that kind of like but like, I mean, someone who's obviously handled COVID so differently to people like Jacinda. Yeah, I think that'd be quite cool.
Okay, so I think it sounds like you guys are agreeing on Jacinda Ardern, and we're talking about a lunch of 1 to 2 hours and kind of discussing leadership during COVID. Is that more or less what you guys have in mind?
Yeah, more or less, I think.
Okay, cool. That sounds great. I would go to that. I would definitely go to that.
Yay!
Also, aren't there like a few other leaders? Because I saw, so apparently women leaders statistically have handled COVID-19 in their countries much better than other places. So I think there are like few other, I think in Sweden or Scandinavian countries.
Iceland.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting to get those countries representatives as well.
I think you could also tie in climate change. That would be quite cool, and maybe get like there's so much evidence that like during COVID, when everyone was in lockdown, obviously emissions like completely plummeted and stuff. So maybe having someone like again like Jacinda should be pretty cool. And maybe like a climate change denier, or someone who I mean it just keeps them like going back to Trump on like the other side, but obviously like I really wouldn't want him to come. But someone of like that caliber who's just handled the crisis differently, who doesn't really believe in like climate change.
Yeah. No, I agree. How would we potentially manage any like strong political tension? Obviously, it sounds like it would definitely welcome a lot of political views and with that a lot of energy, I think. I suppose that's whatever we want in a sense.
I think that depends on like
Well, the other way that you can approach it, so in the past there's been like a couple of, well, I mean, the higher profile the speaker is, in terms of event planning, you need an academic chair. So you get an LSE fellow and they come into your event and they are kind of the ones, like moderating the conversation. Just so, there's good discussion around it to kind of avoid touchy, controversial topics. So you could definitely bring in people from like opposite sides of the spectrum, as long as you have an academic chair to kind of mitigate the tension. But we could definitely do that. Yeah, I like the idea.
I think so.
Perhaps we could get the president of Brazil, because his policies are kind of similar to Trump, right? With the climate change denial and the handling of the virus. And perhaps we could get like a climate advocate, like maybe not Greta, or someone else, if you know of any.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I like the idea. So it seems like we have to go back to the main session in a little bit, but the idea is that we are gonna hear what other people had in mind. So yes, so we'll probably have to present a little bit. You guys have a really great idea and it's solid. So exciting stuff. Well done, everybody. Okay, I'll see you in the main session.
Thanks.
I'll try to unmute everyone. Okay, guys, is everyone able to unmute themselves or no?
Yeah, so everybody can unmute themselves if they want to ask a question or anything like that, but just for the moment being, try to keep them on mute so we can avoid echoes and things like that.
Okay, so if one person from breakout room 1 could unmute themselves and then present the idea.
Can't remember what number we were.
I know we were number 3.
Okay, it was the group with Josiah and Manav and.
Oh, okay.
You guys are breakout room 1.
Yeah, I'm the one presenting.
Wonderful.
Okay, perfect. So, essentially, what we had. Sorry, the line's great. Hi, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the idea which we had, the topic given to us was the UN internships. And the idea we had was like networking over lunch or dinner, like any sort of meal. and the reason we chose that was because, most UN internship events are often panel discussions. So those are very cliche. There are tons of them, but the advantage which luncheon gives, and not only lunch, even dinner, is the fact that you get a sort of intimate, more informal, personal sort of, experience or interaction. And, you can then ask them even more questions, which you perhaps couldn't necessarily ask on a panel discussion. And as far as the guests are concerned, oftentimes UN recruiters or people from the HR department are, invited for the internship events. Whereas we were thinking rather, that we should also invite UN diplomats, and people from a varied field in the UN with various sort of stakeholders. The reason that is, even an internship opportunity, is because you can get a more holistic and sort of comprehensive understanding about the skills you need, not only to succeed in the internship, but also eventually get that UN career, because the reason you do the internship is to, increase your chances to get the sort of career. So that's what we were thinking. And as far as the logistics of it is concerned, we were thinking, hold those, join a few tables and have tables of 10 to 15 people there, because anything more than that gets too big. And depending on obviously the scale and how many people you want, how big you want the event to be, even if we call 5 speakers, so one speaker for 10 people, you can get 50 to 60 people there roughly. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sorry, that was great, thank you. Okay, so someone from breakout room number 2 wants to present.
That's working in a think tank, so
yeah.
You guys know who you are.
Sorry, we are running a bit short of time, so please try and keep things snappy.
Yeah, so I was in the international think tank group, and we decided to do kind of like a mixture between a panel and a workshop where we're able to get the practical experience of someone who actually works in one. And we had the idea of possibly contacting anyone who might be an LSC alumni as point of reference or point of contact, and then people in different positions who do research and hear from both female and male representatives as well, and preferably a smaller group of students would meet at this event together. And yes, I believe that's it.
Great, thank you. So breakout room number 3. That was
the one that was with me.
Yeah. Anyone?
Okay, I'll just go. In a nutshell then, I think we decided that we will have it in the form of a COVID special, in that we will, the purpose of it will be to praise and be inspired by those who have exhibited good leadership in this COVID season. So we looked at people like Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand, and also those with the young element there. So those, I think we looked at Finland, Iceland, predominantly those in Europe. So as a relatable factor. Also with climate change, I think that was also something that we mentioned as well, particularly looking at those who also oppose any climate change views, so who quite frankly don't believe in climate change, to kind of create this stimulus, this political, not so much tension, but complementary sense of thinking to welcome that kind of debate. And environment, and that would be managed accordingly as and when needed, I think. I think in a nutshell, I think that was it. Yeah.
Okay, and breakout room number 4. It was, breakout room number 4 was a panel on careers and diplomacy.
That was Joanne's and my group. Does anyone want to speak on that?
If you want, I can say something.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Okay, so what we think about was basically organizing panels, inviting LSE alumni that studied in LSE but then went on having a career as diplomats in international organization or United Nations. So they will be able to explain how it is, all the processes to the students. And also we were thinking about maybe structuring each event with a focus on certain themes, like for example, sustainable development of the Middle East or the Global South. And yeah, like this, in a nutshell.
Thank you. And so breakout room number 5, that was the one about NGOs.
Yeah, so that was my group, and I think the topic was leading NGOs. So we thought that since it's a kind of fantasy event, we'll get the people all the way at the top of the NGOs. We'd get all the living Secretary Generals of the UN in to do a little discussion of like, how did you do it? How stressful was it? Who was the most annoying world leader? All of the questions everyone wants to know. And yeah, that's it basically. Just simple, but some very good speakers.
Sounds great. Okay, and finally, breakout room number 6, the workshop one. So I think Hannah, you were in that room.
Yeah. So our room was a workshop. So we decided to do a networking workshop. So we thought about having a panel discussion first of all, and then breaking down into smaller groups. So the representatives per topic, for example, if you break it down into human rights, then you could go within that, you could go kind of women's rights, children's rights, and so on and so forth. So you could get LSE alumni from UN Women, UNICEF, UNFPA, and then you could group that into human rights, for example, and then you could also go into like the economic and social aspect, have alumni from DESA as well, and then like continue kind of in that way. And so we thought about having alumni from recent years as well as like kind of further back and see how their career paths have progressed after their studies at LSE. And yeah, that was basically the idea.
It was wonderful. Okay, so I think Caroline is picking the winner, but before she makes her announcement, just like give her extra time. Something that I just do want to bring up again is also, so our BAFUNCS panel is happening on this Friday, and it's basically, we have 3 people, Maggie Harity, Martin Barber, and Michelin, her last name is very hard. And they're all 3 people who've worked in the UN for quite a while, and they're going to come and talk about like their experiences in the UN, sort of like specifically what they did, how the UN works, and then they also give a lot of advice on people who sort of like want to work there, how like what you should be doing now, how to like fix up your CV and things like that. And so if you're interested, the form to sign up is on the Facebook page, and I really recommend it. And also if you want to apply to be a careers officer, that form once again is also on the Facebook page, and it closes on the 6th of October. Okay.
Okay, I've chosen my winner. And yeah, so also guys, sign up to be both a career officer and for the BAFUNCS panel. We'd love to work with you guys. You guys all had great ideas, so you should all apply to be a careers officer. We'd love to have you on our team. And I think for perhaps the most creative event, we'll give, or I would give, I guess, the congratulations for the most creative event to the one with, I think it was Breakout Room 3, where you invited, the one where you invited all the UN, former UN Secretary Generals to spill the tea on what it's like to work in the UN and all the diplomatic gossip that we've all been waiting for. So as most creative event, we'll give that. But for all of you guys who have more realistic events, we'd like you on our team. So make sure to sign up, guys.
That was a very Oscars La La Land kind of moment there.
Also, we'll now be passing over to the Outreach division. So if you guys want to start your presentation.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just share my screen. Yeah, so now we're going to be talking about the Outreach division, and you'll be hearing a bit from me and also my co-director, Amali, in a second. So what do we do? The Outreach division, we primarily do three things, which is awareness raising, fundraising, and volunteering. So primarily, we concentrate on our partner charities in terms of these things, and you'll hear a bit more of them in a second, but we'd become an officer with us if there was any topic you wanted to raise awareness on or to fundraise for or volunteer for. You'd have a lot of freedom to do that kind of thing if it was, at least slightly related to the United Nations. And I'll pass you over to Amali now for this slide to explain our partner charities.
So initiative we started a couple of years ago is having partner charities for our society. And this year we've chosen to have 2 partner charities for the entire year and 1 separate partner charity for Awareness Week. But we'll talk a little bit about that later. Our 2 partner charities this year are Blue Dragon, who we've had a partnership with for 5 years. So this year we'll be holding lots of events with them and also a 5-year celebratory event as well. So stay tuned for that. And the other partner charity, this is our first year partnering with them, is the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. So the way it works with our partner charities is that we hold a lot of events in conjunction with them. We get speakers from those charities, but we also fundraise on behalf of those charities. So any money we raise goes to those 2 charities and is split equally. And we'll talk a bit more about this later, but we have a charity showcase on Thursday the 1st, so please sign up for that as well. Yeah, we can move on to the next slide.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, another big thing we like to celebrate is volunteering. And we're going to try and do this in 3 ways again. So in terms of volunteering opportunities, we've sourced our own kind of long-term volunteering opportunity for someone this year to become an online resource designer for our partner charity, Blue Dragon. Very excited you'll be working with the leadership of Blue Dragon in Vietnam, obviously remotely. We'll also be taking part in one-off volunteering event at the Centre at LSE. You might have met them, very lovely people. And throughout the year, we'd like to give out kind of awards for people we think who have shown like outstanding efforts for volunteering, and generally building a kind of volunteering community. So if you ever have a volunteer opportunity that you don't want to go to by yourself, we guarantee that at least someone from UNSOC will go with you, whether it's like me or one of the other directors or one of the officers. You never have to volunteer alone. That's the cheesy tagline we're going with. And yeah, so this is the, just as I said before, this is the NGO Online Resource Designer kind of thing. This will be going up on our Facebook, I think, soon. If you'd like to apply, it's a really exciting position. And this is Amali.
Yeah, so the Outreach division, our flagship event every year that we hold is Awareness Week. So this is a week where we raise awareness on one particular issue, and we have events almost every single day, sometimes more than 1 event a day. And it generally consists of events like fundraisers, high-profile speaker panels, and the main aim of this is to raise awareness about a certain issue. And also this year we'll have a partner charity specific for Awareness Week, so we'll be raising funds for that charity specifically. Yep, we can move on to the next slide.
So yeah, just to give you an example, this is what we did last year. It was focusing on child rights. Here's some pictures of some of the things we did. So in the top right, we had a kind of challenge for charity race. We made people do all sorts of, crazy things. They had to do a rap, they had to run around LSE, and winners got some good prizes. We did some creative things. We were like writing letters for post pals. They're a really good charity that send cards to very ill children, and you can find them and kind of write letters towards them. Of course, all kinds of speaker panels and kind of other great things. And then Marla will tell you the idea of what we're doing this year.
Yeah, so this year we're doing things a little bit differently. So generally the Outreach directors choose the Awareness Week topic, but this year we've decided we want to get our members involved as much as possible. So we want you guys to actually pick our Awareness Week topic this year. And we've got 3 themes. We've got international migration, international human rights, and global health. And you guys just need to go to our Facebook page, and we'll post the poll later as well, and vote for whichever one you'd like to see us hold, basically, whichever one you want us to hold events, speaker panels, and different things like that. And maybe think about, if you're applying for officer positions as well, which one you'd like to help organize the most.
Yeah, so just to kind of sum up all the little kind of notices. So coming soon, we've got our kind of main event on Thursday, which is our partner charity showcase. We've got speakers coming in from our 2 NGO kind of charities, UNHCR and Blue Dragon, just to hear a bit more from them, what it's like, kind of what their aims as a charity are. If you're interested in this kind of thing, be sure to come along. Like Careers, we've also got officer applications. If you're passionate about charity, fundraising, volunteering, NGOs, or you want to bring awareness to a particular topic, it's a really good platform to take this forward, and we'll support you in all of that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, the volunteer position, we're talking about the long-term position for Blue Dragon, that'll also be opening as well. And yeah, and here's just the, some of our speakers for the partner charity showcase. But again, all on Facebook. And I
definitely recommend you attend these events, especially if you're applying for officer positions, just because it gives you a little bit more background as to who our partner charities are and what they stand for. And also, it helps you figure out if you have a genuine interest in being a part of Outreach and organizing events on behalf of this. So yeah, definitely attend.
Yeah, and we're going to do a game, but we don't have time because we'd like to leave some time for questions and answers. So we'll just, there you go. Imagine you had fun just there. Picture yourself, you had a great time in that game. Anyway, thank you for listening. And yeah, any questions, feel free.
Also, I think Joanne's just posted the poll for Awareness Week in the chat, so please go vote. You can find all the descriptions for each of the themes on our Facebook page, so just please do have a look at that. And yeah, vote, because we want to hold events that you guys want to learn about, so please do that.
Yeah, and I put a lot of time into making those logos look good, so I'm hoping people are appreciating them. Great, yeah. Do we have any questions about Outreach or Careers or UNSOC in general?
I just have a quick one. For Careers officers, how frequent are the meetings? I think there are weekly meetings going on, I think.
So last year we did weekly meetings, and we found that was really helpful. So I think we'll do that again this year and keep them weekly.
Okay, so would it be 1 meeting a week kind of thing?
It's usually like 30 minutes or something. It's not that much.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
No worries.
Another thing to note is that a lot of the work is done like individually, and then the meetings are mostly used to like touch base, and we text each other a lot just so you can keep each other like up to date with what we're doing. So the meetings are mostly used to do sort of admin things and brainstorm events. But so just also keep in mind that there's some like emailing that you have to do by yourself So yeah, just putting that out there.
Thanks.
Yeah, if anyone was thinking about outreach as well, so we have an hour's meeting every week. So meetings generally range from 30 minutes to an hour, depending how busy they are. So like close to Awareness Week, they'll probably be an hour. But meetings are generally to discuss progress on events that are to be held, and also just any ideas you have. If you want to, we tend to discuss them in the meeting, but of course you're free to text us as well, and we'll support you as best we can. Any other questions? Don't be shy, just either type it in the chat or unmute yourself. And
funny enough, I have another one. Sorry about that. I'm likely to have to go to another event after this one, but I am aware that the MUN meeting is literally in 5 or so minutes. Should I just drop an email just to catch up on anything that I would be missing, if that makes sense? Or if I happen to be done before 6, assuming it's still going on until 6, should I just come in, say, I don't know, from 5:30 or so?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they won't mind if you message one of the the UN SOC account or one of the people running it. That's absolutely fine. And I believe they do record most of these events as well. If you prefer to just kind of catch up in your own time, that's fine. I think it's all on the YouTube, which a link was posted in the chat. Some light watching later on.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Popcorn and sit down and watch our UNSOC week events.
Thanks.
Yeah, watch our Netflix.
Yeah, could. Yeah. I think I'm done now.
Great.